I believe in me.
I believe in me.
I believe in you.
I believe in you.
Stand strong. You are powerful.
Stand strong. You are inspiring.
We are fighters. We are ambitious.
We are extraordinary. We are conquerors. Simply straight talk, our voices will be heard.
This is Simply Straight Talk. Tune in now, you don't want to miss out. Real conversation, plenty motivation. Keep you thinking and still entertaining. Yeah, I know that you'll enjoy the mottos. Free your voice, it's your choice. Hosted by Reggie B, but you already know. And you gotta check them out and how we roll. Hey, ain't nothing off the table. Give it to you straight. Changing your mindset, talking past mistakes. You ain't gotta wait, time to take off. This is Simply Straight Talk.
Welcome to the Simply Straight Talk podcast. I'm Melissa, a professional voiceover artist. If you're new to our podcast, we hope you find it motivational and fun because you're in the right place. We can't wait to share what we've learned about life with you. After all, you never know what Reggie's going to say. Stick around, the show is about to start.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk podcast. This your man Reggie. Listen, we got a show for you today. As always, we always try to bring you a good show, but just want to holler at you real quick. Today, I want to talk about accountability. Now listen, we need more accountability in this world, not just from the government. Of course, we need accountability from them, which they're never going to have, but we as people, as individuals, we need to have accountability for ourselves because we hear this word thrown around a lot lately. We hear this word across the board from so many different people. We hear it in regards to men talking about women. We hear it about women talking about men. And it's just such a big thing. Of course, you're going to hear it in the job where they're going to say accountability. You know, employees need to have accountability. Employers need to be accountable. You know, these are the things that we sort of want to talk about. We want to make it a little more personal, though, as we begin to talk about accountability, how it applies to your life. What does it mean for you to be accountable? What does it mean for you to have a life to where there's a little more structure, there's a little more progression, growth. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. We all want to grow. And if you don't have accountability, how are you going to grow? That is a part of it. You got to be willing to grow. And that's going to mean you actually taking a bit of self-reflection about your actions and decisions. Now, let's start off with career, where you are in your life. Because so many people have this feeling of, I'm supposed to have my dream home by now. I had an idea of where I was going to be. I was going to have this dream home. Some people feel like they're not using their full potential. And other people feel like they're just stuck in life. They feel stuck. Or maybe, it's somebody who's homeless and, they're struggling financially. But a lot of this comes back to accountability. Now, that's not taking away there could be other circumstances in a person's life. But accountability is something that you have to take responsibility for. And that's what accountability is. It's taking responsibilities for your actions, for your decisions, for your choices. You have to be accountable. But a lot of people don't want to be accountable. It's much easier to want to blame other people and accuse other people. And they're the reason for this, they're the reason for that. And in some cases, other people may interfere, but ultimately, the accountability falls on you. It falls on you. You say you don't have that dream home you wanted. Have you tried to save for it? Have you started working on your credit? Did you do things to prep yourself to be able to obtain that dream home? What have you done? You feel like you're not being used to your full potential. You're not using your full potential. Are you trying to position yourself to where your full potential can be used? Are you dependent on someone else to use your full potential? Or are you kind of sitting back and saying, you know what, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to start my own business. I know I'm good at this. I'm going to do this. You feel stuck. Hold yourself accountable for not trying to get out of the situation you're in, or move away from where you are to get yourself out of that feeling of being stuck. And the same thing, if you're homeless, and you're struggling financially, you got to think about this. What is it in your life that makes you not want to get out of that situation? What are you letting holding yourself back? It's accountability. You have to be accountable for the decisions you make, for the choices you make. Accountability is so important to professional and personal growth. Now, let's get to the one that's a big one. Let's get to this. Accountability in relationships. This is a hot thing right now because we got a lot of people, a whole lot of people, that when a relationship ends, a relationship goes wrong, they want to blame the other person. When there are problems in the relationship between you and your mate, nobody wants to take accountability for themselves and with their part in it. They want to blame the other person. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes when there's an unplanned pregnancy, the women want to blame the men should have used protection, the man want to blame the woman, you should have used protection. You got to hold yourselves accountable. Accountability starts with each person. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. Even when it comes to cheating, yes, your woman cheated on you. Your man cheated on you. That's wrong. We get it. It's trifling. But here's the other thing about that. How can you hold yourself accountable to where you look back on that relationship and even with that person that cheated on you and say to yourself, dang, as a woman, I could have did this better as being a mate for my partner. As a man, I could have spent more time. I could have been more attentive to her needs. As a woman, I could have been more supportive of him emotional. I could have tried to be more understanding about what he was dealing with and going through. That way, that person did not have to go out and rely on somebody else to be his ear and ultimately be his or her comforter when that's supposed to be your place. When a relationship ends, who do you blame? Do you blame him? Do you blame her? Is it always the other person, everything they did wrong? Do you tell the truth when people ask you, well, what happened? Why did the relationship end? Well, I could have did this better. They wanted to spend time, but I sort of wanted my independence. I wanted to be single, but then I did kind of want to be in a relationship. I wasn't really there the way I should have been. I was wilding out, whatever. You've been married multiple times. Okay, it happened. It's done with. Move on. But here's the thing. Be honest and accountable about your actions. Yes, I was married 4 times. It was my fault. I was young, but that's not an excuse. I never took time to figure things out. I always had this fantasy that, I was going to be married. It's going to last forever. I just kept meeting the wrong ones and things just never got better. These are the things that you got to think about. These are the things that are part of accountability. Accountability is holding yourself accountable for your actions and your decisions. And a lot of times we don't want to do that. People get in relationships and they want the other person to be accountable for everything, but they don't want to be accountable. They don't want to be accountable for what goes wrong. But when something goes right, they want full accountability. But when it comes to being a mate for somebody and being responsible for someone, they don't want that. It's not their fault. It's the other person's fault. Accountability goes both ways. In a relationship, there's 2 people. That means 2 people have to be accountable. You're accountable for each other. And it's the same thing with friends. Friends have to be accountable for each other. That's what a real friend is. Real friends are accountable. I know somebody's like, what he said is? But real friends are accountable for each other. And they're accountable for themselves. Because they think about stuff like that. They pay attention. Real friends acknowledge the fact that if this is my friend, I can't just make up stuff. I can't just lie. I have to be accountable. That's what they do. If I'm going to be a good friend to this person, I got to look out for them. I got to tell them the truth. Being truthful is part of being accountable. But what are you going to do about being accountable in your life so that you can grow and progress? Accountability helps you learn from the mistakes that you made, the bad decisions that you made. Accountability is a big part of what makes you into a better person that can ultimately lead you into success. Accountability. You cannot be without accountability, but expect to be successful. You just can't. Success and accountability go hand in hand. You want to be the CEO of a company, then you got to be accountable for how that company operates. You got to be accountable for what's taking place in that company, for the actions and behaviors of the employee. You got to take accountability. And it's the same thing with any relationship. Accountability matters. And a lot of people don't want to be accountable. They don't want to even acknowledge the fact that accountability is something that's crucial to their growth, to their success. Because nobody wants to own up to accountability. Nobody does. Everybody kind of wants this to be the one that everybody's loved. Everybody likes me. But accountability is so much more than that. It's way more than that. But how can you say you're going to be successful when you can't really own up to being accountable in your own life for your own actions, with your friends, with your family? Then yes, you are going to feel stuck. You are going to feel like you can't grow because you don't have accountability for where you failed. You only have accountability at pointing the blame at other people. And it simply doesn't work like that. It is easier to blame someone else rather than face your own fault. It's much easier. It's easier to face, just to say, oh, it's her fault. It's his fault. It's easier to blame other people rather than face your own faults. Now, some things that people do that they need to think about when they say, well, you know what? I worked at this job and I was stuck there. A lot of people work at jobs and they never stop to think, what are the resources these jobs offer? Because a lot of times for you to grow and to become a better person, it means you're going to have to sacrifice some time. You got to sacrifice some time. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And for some people, that means getting more certifications, getting more education. So when next time that chance comes around, you're prepared. You're prepared for it. But that's you being accountable. Listen, I didn't get the job because I didn't have my certification in this. I didn't get enough training in this. You have to be accountable. Remaining in a relationship with someone who you know is not good for you and placing you in a bigger hole emotionally and financially, you have to be accountable for that. Now, that's not justifying what that person is doing, but you have to be accountable. Because when you recognize that somebody is taking you down, the responsibility is now on you. When you wake up and realize this person is not supporting you emotionally, financially, they're draining you. Now the accountability falls on you to change that situation, to either move on from it, tell that person what's going on and give them the option to step up, or you got to step out. But you can't blame everybody else when you knowingly remain in a situation that you know is tearing you down. Accountability. Not speaking up or making decisions that were right for you because you wanted to please someone else. And there are so many people who are follow the crowd type people. They follow the crowd because they want to let other people do the dirty work. So they follow. You follow. And some people follow people blindly and you don't speak up. So when things go wrong, whose fault is it? You want to say, well, I was following them. They said this. But if you didn't speak up and you didn't make the right decision, then whose fault is it? Accountability. Because you had the option to think and speak for yourself and you didn't. You allowed other people to influence you because you simply wanted to be a part of the crowd. You wanted to hang with a certain group. Now you're struggling. Now you're trying to figure things out, but you're not blaming nobody else that you should be blaming, because really you got to blame yourself. You have to accept that blame and accountability for yourself. And a lot of people don't want to do that. People don't want to be accountable. They don't want to be accountable. They don't want to accept responsibility. They don't want to say, you know what, the blame is on me. And sometimes in football games, when you watch it, when a receiver is wide open and the quarterback overthrows the ball, underthrows the ball, or throws it in the wrong place, you'll see the quarterback tap his chest like, that's my fault. I did that. That's my fault. I messed up. I made that mistake. That was on me. And you have to do that and use that tool to learn and grow, because if you don't, then you're going to find yourself stuck. You're going to find yourself in a situation to where you're not growing, you're not maturing, you're not benefiting, because you simply haven't taken the time to be accountable for where you are in life and where you're trying to go. Now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to discuss the truth and some reasons why people don't want to be held accountable.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
All right, Simply Straight Talk family. We want to return the love you have shown us back to you. Reggie will be giving away great prizes during certain Simply Straight Talk podcast shows, so make sure you subscribe and listen to the show for your chance to win. Just imagine being able to take 4 people to the movies, a free night in a hotel, a gift card with cash for a restaurant, or one of our Simply Straight Talk podcast shirts. There will be other prizes as well. For more information, visit our website at www.rmviaging.com and click on Simply Straight Talk Podcast in the menu.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, we are back for the second part of the show. Listen, you're probably going to notice a little more energy in my voice because I had to adjust some situations with the mic. But you know how it is, man. We keep it real right here on Simply Straight Talk. But check it out, yo. Today we're talking about why people hate accountability. Now, when we talk about accountability, a lot of people don't like accountability being applied to themselves, but it's okay to hold everybody else accountable. We're going to tell everybody else about themselves, but a lot of people don't want themselves to be told about how they are lacking in the field of accountability. Because as I said in the first part of the show, accountability is taking responsibility for your actions and your decisions. And we live in a society today where everybody is so good at blaming other people for their downfalls, their shortcomings. They're blaming everybody when relationships don't work. It's so easy to blame everybody else instead of holding yourself accountable. Being accountable when a relationship ends. Being accountable when you don't get that promotion, that job doesn't work out, you're not where you are, where you want to be in life. It's about being accountable. Now, like I said, being accountable doesn't mean you're taking the full blame. It doesn't mean that everything that happened in your life is a direct result of you, but it is a result of the fact that you may have had knowledge or you may have foreseen certain things coming that you looked the other way. And being accountable means you acknowledge that. You know what? I won't make that mistake again. I saw the warning signs. I'm going to listen next time. I'm going to pay attention. When she says she's good at math, but she keeps running the bank account empty, pay attention. There are things that we need to pay attention to as individuals because it helps us to grow. It helps us to become a better person. Now, We talked about how everybody puts the blame on everybody else, okay? But the truth is, people don't want to be accountable for their actions because it makes them feel like a failure. It does. It does. Because if you have to accept responsibility that a relationship wasn't ending because that other person was just a bad person, and accepting the fact that I have some flaws. There are things about my attitude and behavior that caused this relationship to go in a down spiral. People become embarrassed. They're embarrassed to say that it didn't work. So it's easy to blame somebody else to why something didn't work out. Be it a business venture, be it a friendship, be it a relationship. Okay? It's so easy to blame other people. An investment. You know, you just invested your money, but you wasn't really paying attention to the numbers. You wasn't really learning how to trade. You just did it because you heard other people are doing it. So now you're embarrassed because you lost $100 or a couple $1,000s. They feel guilt and shame. And this is just being human. Nobody likes to fail. Nobody likes to come up short in the things they're trying. Everybody don't get into a relationship to get a divorce. People don't open a business for the business to get closed down. People don't, go traveling and do things just to find out that they're struggling financially. Nobody wants to be in financial debt, but things happen in life. But we have to hold ourselves accountable as to why these things are happening and why they are taking place. But I think what really stops people from being accountable in life is perceiving themselves as a fraud. Because most people are going to feel like, I'm a fake, I'm a fraud. I told people I was going to do this and it didn't happen. I told people I was going to do this, it didn't work out. I told people this and it failed. And most people feel like a failure and they feel like a fraud. And that's a hurtful feeling, but it's okay because you are human. You are human. So anytime you try something and it doesn't work, it is natural that you're going to have some feelings of feeling like you failed, like you're in fraud. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to feel shame. You're going to feel guilt. But being accountable helps you to become stronger in how you deal with those things because you learn from it. The people who keep making the same mistakes or stay where they are the people who don't hold themselves accountable. They don't hold themselves accountable. I can't tell you how many times you see people on these reality TV shows that are trying to start a business who really think that they're just going to open up a business and then 3 months later they're going to be a millionaire because their business is going to make $100,000 and $400,000 a month. But they fail to realize they didn't do their research about locations. They didn't do their research about pricing. They thought that they can just hire a bunch of employees and they sit home and wait for a paycheck. Accountability is I didn't do what I needed to do to make the business successful. And that's what happened. People see themselves as a fraud. And they're worried that this is how everyone is going to see them. And now their ego comes into play. And it's more about saving face over anything else. It's not about fixing the problem. It's not about holding yourself accountable. It's about your ego right now. Your ego is saying, we can't let people know that we fail or that something went wrong. Your ego will not let you do it. And because of that, you really can't progress and succeed in life. You can't. Because you're letting your ego dictate your emotions. Your ego is all about your ego. I don't want nobody to know that I didn't make it. I don't want nobody to know that I'm not making $100,000 a year. I don't want nobody to know that I'm saving money to buy a house. So I'm cutting back on my travel expenses. I'm cutting back on eating out. I'm eating ramen noodles. Because you are sacrificing right now, and accountability is being okay with that. I'm sacrificing some time. I'm sacrificing some fun because I'm holding myself accountable that if I want to achieve this goal, because I've learned from my past mistakes of what I can do in the future. But I got to hold myself accountable. If you don't hold yourself accountable, how are you going to grow? How are you going to succeed? How? You cannot do it if you are not willing to be responsible and accountable for your actions of what you're doing, your decisions, and who you are. Now, on the other hand, some people simply don't want to accept the fact that they need to change some things about themselves. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to change their mindset. They don't want to change their behavior. They don't want to change their attitude because they simply see themselves as there's nothing wrong with me. Their ego won't allow them to see that I have flaws, that there are things I need to hold myself accountable to changing about me if I want to have better relationships, if I want to have a better career, if I want to have better friends, or if I want to be financially stable. There are some things I have to change about me. But their ego won't allow them to hold themselves accountable. Other people have probably told them that they need to change these things about their attitude and behavior, but they simply refuse to do it. Accountability means change. Accountability is a reflection that there are things you're going to have to change. You may have to change the way you think, change the way you act. Accountability helps you to do that in a way that's progressive. So you're doing it the right way. An educated reflection of yourself. And you can do that by holding yourself accountable. Being accountable for your decisions. If you go out and you go to the casino and you spend $400 to $500, then you wake up the next morning and realize that you need groceries or that you got a bill to pay. Don't get mad at the casino. That casino took my money. No, it didn't. You gave that casino your money. So how can you get mad at the casino? They didn't steal your money. You gave it to them. You played the game of risk. You have to figure out how to allow yourself to be accountable without feeling like being accountable is holding you back. It's not. What's holding you back in life is not being accountable, not accepting responsibility for your actions and decisions. You have to be accountable, just like we have to take this break. Listen, we're going to be right back with more of the Simply Straight Talk Show.
Don't even think about it. We got more straight talk just for you.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the final word of today's show. And today's final word is what? Accountability. Yes. You know, people have to learn that accountability is not a bad thing. And you can't just point the finger at other people and say, oh, you need to be accountable. You should have did this. You should have did that. The reason we're not together is this. The reason I lost that job is because of you. You have to be accountable. And I think a lot of times we always want to point the blame at somebody else. We kind of see accountability as a bad word. I hear people say, you know, well, God didn't give me this. God didn't give me that. No, you didn't do what you need to do to get it. Don't blame God. You know, the thing about it is accountability is necessary for self-growth, self-care, self-love. because you got to love yourself. To really grow in life, you have to love yourself. And loving yourself is recognizing that you have flaws, that there are things about you that need work. We're always growing. We're always looking to elevate ourselves. But you can't elevate yourself if you don't hold yourself accountable for your actions, your decisions, your behavior. You have to hold yourself accountable. If you don't, how are you going to succeed? How are you going to find true success? How are you going to be good in a relationship with somebody else if you're unable to hold yourself accountable for your actions? You'll keep making the same mistakes. You'll keep doing the same things, but you keep blaming other people every time it goes wrong. And that's not right. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way it should be. It should be about you making yourself better by acknowledging and recognizing when things go wrong. When mistakes happen and things fall apart, don't always be so quick to blame other people. What you really need to do is take a look at yourself and say, where in my part of me, of my action and behaviors caused this? Was I not willing to recognize and see the warning signs? Did I just ignore them? Did the person tell me who they truly are and I ignored it? See, these are the things that you have to do when it comes to accountability. It's recognizing where are your flaws? Where are the changes that you can make in your life? Accountability is not only about accepting responsibility. Accountability is about change. It's about you changing things about yourself so you can be successful, so you can work to get that dream house, that dream car, or have that good relationship because you know you. You recognize you. You understand you. You're a person that's willing to learn and grow. And you cannot do that without accountability. And that's why some people never get out of the situations that they're in, because they don't want to be accountable for the things in their life. They want to blame everybody else. They want everybody else to fix it. Accountability is about you and how you want to have a better life and be successful in the things that you want to pursue. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This is Reggie. Man, I appreciate y'all checking it in, man. Y'all stay with us. Come on back next Friday. We got another episode for you. I hope this stuff is really helping. Don't forget, check out the Simply Straight Talk Facebook page where you can comment and join in on the conversations. But check it all out, man, and be a part of it. Come get some of this self-care, self-love, and motivation.
That's it for this week's episode of the Simply Straight Talk podcast. Be sure to sign up to our email list at simplystraighttalk.com and follow us in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss our next episode. Wishing you a wonderful day from the Simply Straight Talk crew.
Simply Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, all right here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.